Welcome to the Lynn Miller Room in this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. Chris Lapole, the Assistant Athletic Director, Director of Media Relations, Sports Medicine. I almost gave you Matt Siegel's title. You know, you had to deal with him anyway. But Chris, thanks for coming on. And, sports medicine is a unique situation because 365 days a year, you're on call either at a practice or at games or getting ready for a game or getting ready for practice. It's a very trying job, but a very important job here at Eagle Athletics.
Sure. We have to cover everything that any of our athletic teams do. According to schedules, we may be in 5 or 6 different spots at one time during a given day. And like you said, I mean, that's all year round. Especially now with our men's and women's basketball teams being able to practice over the summer, that kind of is mandatory for us to be there for those types of things. So yeah, it can pull you in many different directions, but it's all about time management and how well you deal with any adversity that kind of comes your way.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you got here at Morehead State. I know that you had a great stint in Louisville with the Louisville Bats.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about what you did before you got here at Morehead State.
Yeah, I spent 10 years with the Cincinnati Reds organization. Love my time there. It's one of the best organizations I could have worked for. But yeah, I worked my way up. Started in rookie ball way out in Billings, Montana. Went all the way through A ball, Double A, and then ending up in Triple A. And I even had some experience with the major league team. I worked all the major league spring trainings. I got to go back up at the end of the year in September, and then got to work with Dr. Krimchek in the off seasons. And he's kind of if I had a mentor, I would say he would probably be it.
Right now, Tim Krimchek is the new Dr. Andrews in a way because,
Definitely.
where Dr. Andrews laid the groundwork on athletic surgeries, Krimchek is now taking that to a different level.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can even see him on some of these shows like, HBO Sports and things like that. And, he's really coming into the forefront with a lot of things to where a lot of people are even going to him for some senior consultation, not just with the Reds, but with other organizations. He's slowly branching out into other sports. It's not just solely baseball.
And I know the fact that he's big on trying to keep the younger kids out of his office, but he's trying to teach them the proper way to do things so he doesn't have to be their surgeon.
Sure, and with everything, especially in his case, education is the key. He's trying to educate some of these younger kids, especially in the little league, junior leagues, senior leagues, and even high schools. Not just how proper mechanics, but they're dealing with pitch counts and when to throw a curveball, when not to throw a curveball, so that he can see less of these kids. With just the sheer number of these younger kids that have been coming through, he's doing his due diligence and making sure these kids are healthy at a younger age.
A lot of major leaguers went through the Louisville area while you were there.
Sure,
and, of course, being a trainer, they count on you to keep them healthy or get them healthy in a hurry. And I know you probably made some friendships that you still have to this day.
Oh, yeah. I'd say probably at least half of the guys that are in Cincinnati right now, I worked with them in Louisville as they were coming through the ranks as well. Guys such as Jay Bruce and Joey Votto and Ryan Hannigan. I had all those guys there. And one of the things you don't really realize is, those guys they're human, just like you and I. They put their pants on one leg at a time, and that's kind of the way things are on the inside. We're kind of a family. You spend that many hours with each other every single day, then you get to know those guys very well, not just as a athlete, but also as a person, and those are things that you take away. Maybe not so much the work-related experience, but the friendships that come out of it.
I know the fact that AAA travel is a grind. You
Yeah.
probably hear about the OVC travel, the Pioneer Football League travel, and you probably laugh at that because that's nothing compared to the AAA travel.
Sure. I mean, when you go on a road trip, and this is at any level in baseball, now you're going to be on the road from most likely 8 to 10 days. And every day is something different. You're going to be in a city maybe anywhere from 2 to 4 days. And then, yeah, that was part of my job while I was there also, was coordinating all the travel. So we go on the road. I had to take care of the hotels and the buses and making sure we were where we needed to be on time. So yeah, again, it goes all back to you have to manage everything very specifically, or else you kind of get run over.
Louisville has a great reputation for being a baseball town, and I know the fact that with the Cardinals for so long, and then the
Yeah.
Reds, it is just a great baseball town.
Oh, the following they have there, I think. I mean, I don't know the stats right off the top of my head, but for many years they led all of minor league baseball in attendance. When they built that new baseball park there, Slugger Field, I mean, they got a huge following when they were all out at old Cardinal Park. But now they're downtown, right in the middle of everything. They really cater to the fan there. And then they also, especially on Thunder over Louisville, it's one of the bigger days of the year. And for them to open the ballpark and allow just the general admission people to come through and be able to see the air show and the fireworks at night, they really do a great job.
Chris Lapole is our guest, Assistant Athletic Director and Director of Sports Medicine here at Morehead State University. You left the Bats, came to Morehead State. Tell us a little bit of how that progress came.
Sure. I was very lucky at that time. I knew Jason Neal, who is our assistant baseball coach at the time. He was our bullpen coach, bullpen catcher with the Bats for several years. And he was here with Jay Sorg. Jay and I actually worked together. He was a manager for me when we were in A-ball in Clinton, Iowa together one year. And Jay was also our first base coach in Louisville for a couple of years. So having known those guys, and my hometown is Huntington, West Virginia, and so I'm trying to get back closer to home. And knowing those guys, and there was a position open here, they were really instrumental in putting in a good word for me to allow me to get here.
A lot of people don't realize just what your job entails. The fact that, you're not only the main guy for football, or if somebody gets sick, you have to fill in the fact that you have to schedule your personnel for every event, not only the major sports, the minor sports, and even the practice.
Oh yeah, I mean we're fortunate enough here that it's myself, and then Kelly Mason and David Anderson are our two assistant athletic trainers, and then we have 4 GAs, and they cover some of our other sports along the way. But yeah, even with that, and we have some student workers that help with football, and then they can go fill in and cover practice for a few minutes if we have to step away because something happened. But yeah, it takes up a majority of our day. I mean, you look at even football last week. I mean, they're changing a culture over there. Coach Tenure is really. I'm excited about what he's doing. I'm really happy and I'm proud to be a part of that. And last week with the conditioning and the things those guys did, I mean, they were working hard. But we were putting in, me personally, it was about a 15-hour day, just because they were starting so early in the morning. And then we have to be around, even if they have lifting in the afternoons, we have to be around because last thing you want to do is have somebody drop a plate on their foot and not be there to take care of it.
The fact that people don't realize that on a normal football day, kickoff is at 1 o'clock. You're here a long time, but even probably before the coaches.
Oh, yeah, we have to get there. Typically, if we have a 1 o'clock kickoff, we're here by 7:30 in the morning. We have to get all the water ready, get the field set up, get our training room ready, and make sure that everything is ready. So as soon as the players or staff walk in, they're walking into a fully functional situation. So when the guys come in, they're ready to get taped. They have to go to meetings. Once that whole schedule starts, it's nonstop, and there's not really a time where you could have a lull or even just a hiccup in that day, because then it would throw really everything off.
And then, of course, when you're on the road, you have to make sure that all the equipment is taken, all your stuff is taken, and then you end up your training room, if we're lucky, is in a meeting room inside the hotel, so you can tape them all up before the game.
Yeah, finding a place to take care of these guys when we're on the road, sometimes it's a challenge depending on what hotel we're in. We typically like to get them ready before we go over, and a lot of times it's wherever the morning breakfast was for that day. We just take a couple of regular tables because if it's a commercial flight, we're very limited as to what we can take. And in keeping with that, it's myself, a GA, and 2 students, and taking care of 55 to 60 guys when we're on the road. It becomes a challenge. We have to work very efficiently to make sure everything is there. So yeah, we take what's necessary. We make sure the guys have what they need. But yeah, it becomes a kind of a challenge.
I know that we have some great team doctors here at Morehead State. I know that you work
definitely
closely with them because, kind of the bread and butter, the fact that you all are the bread and butter, the fact that, you're trying to get somebody healthy, but in a case that you might need their expertise, we've had some,
Sure.
we do have some great doctors.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Fawcett, he's been associated with Eagle Athletics for 25 plus years. Dr. Kraus is he's really now starting to step in and play a major role in what we do on a day-to-day basis. And without those 2 guys, we might be lost here. They allow us to schedule things around our schedule. They really see anything that we need. They kind of go out of their way. They'll come into the training room. They're there for every football game, every men's basketball game. They're a huge presence in what we do here.
Let's take through that process because people really don't know. If a player gets injured, let's say a basketball player gets injured,
Sure.
you all do the initial look, and if it's more serious, you call in the team doctor.
Sure. Yeah, if someone gets hurt and we can get them off the court, we'll do the initial evaluation ourselves. And with our backgrounds and our education, a lot of times we can handle what's going on. If we suspect that something is further than what we can do with just a clinical evaluation, we call in Dr. Foster, Dr. Kraus. If it's a game at night, obviously early the next morning, such as by 8 a.m., we've got them in getting an X-ray, doing some further evaluation on it, and then they can read the imaging right there and let us know what are our next steps, what can we do or what can we not do. And then from there, we do all of our own rehabilitation in-house. Everything physical therapy-wise is located in the training room in the football stadium. So they can go through a full rehabilitation process right there. Then they can do all their functional training as soon as they get done with their rehabilitation. And again, we do all that. We work well with our strength and conditioning staff to make sure that the limitations that they may have right out of the gate, they can follow that. But then when they get back to full go, they can get all their conditioning in, and then they're ready to get back in to play. And as soon as the day that they are ready to go, they're not missing a beat. They're right where they need to be.
I know the fact you mentioned yourself and a couple of staff members and your GAs. The GAs, as you probably came up through that, you get so much a great experience by working. It's hard work.
Oh, definitely.
But the experience you gain will help you down the road.
Oh, yeah. And our GAs, we're in kind of a unique situation here where we don't really have an athletic training program per se. We have several master's degrees here that our GAs, they enroll in. They're very competitive with a lot of the other schools in our close vicinity. But they almost have to take the team by themselves. So when we hire a GA, we're looking for the ones that exhibit leadership, that know how to manage things the right way. And then that's also something that we're trying to teach them while they're here. So when they leave here and they have the name of Morehead State kind of stamped on them as they go, and people can see what kind of product what we're putting out as well, we want them to be the best that we can possibly make them.
Chris, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Jason. I
And
appreciate
we
it.
appreciate you
All right.
kind of highlighting
Sure.
your program and letting us know more about that. And we'll
Certainly.
have
Thank you.
on later on, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Chris Lapole, Assistant Athletic Director, Director of Sports Medicine here at Morehead State University. We'll come back with more. This is the Eagles Sports Coaches Show.